But this is Fortified Clearing, so this is Game 3 in the Play All 3 Gold League. Forget which group it is, but it's a group that's stacked with players who are very talented. I think you've got Sobek, you've got Madri, you've got Fire, and you've got Gemjack, if I recall. All those players are going to be licking their lips after watching the previous game, I think, because it was certainly a rough one. So you've got stone walls on the front on this map. It's very arena-esque, but you can also cross on the outer ring. And if you watch the Resurgence, there was this map, but there was also stone walls on the backside. We removed the stone walls on the backside. So I honestly don't know what this changes. Do you see players go for Scout Rush? Could you see players go for Man-at-Arms? It's very weird because you've got the openness on the outside, but it's also a longer journey. And then there's always a lot of reason to go to the middle for things like relics. There are also 4 relics on the outer ring. Looks like 3 of them are to the north right now, and 1 of them is more towards the south. But yeah, I'm excited to see this. And I think Turks vs. Burgundians would be fine in a normal arena game. But I don't know what really changes here. I actually have not played it yet. I meant to play a couple practice games because I thought there was a chance I would make it into gold. Never got around to playing it. Not in the Gold League, so we'll just see what these players end up doing. I feel like Vinchester in the Platinum League, I feel like he's going to have a lot of fun with this. Or someone like Tato. Because couldn't you... I guess if you want to go Fast Castle, you could build... Okay, let me back up even further, actually. I guess if you thought about it, you could build all your houses as part of a wall. And then when you go for whatever buildings, you could also build that as part of a wall and make a little circular palisade house building arena. So in some ways, I think that would stop aggression, but I don't know if I would hate scouts on this map. Also, the stone wall in the middle is 900 HP on Fortified Clearing. So you could actually go for some type of like, weird tower play as well. I think this is going to confuse the clowns, but right now it seems like both of these players are just respecting each other too much. And they're going to try and go for a fast castle here. Yeah, I can see what you mean. It does kind of look like an apple core. But wait, is Nilly going to go scouts here? Oh no, he just was late for the house. Okay. Guys, if you have any other questions about TTL, feel free to ask as we wait, because Dark Age in these maps, obviously it's a great time to ask questions and answer questions. Yeah, arena with extra steps, exactly. So you can't just be safe the whole time. You have to work for your safety a little bit. I think Burgundians and Turks are fairly similar if they end up both booming. Draken was considering sending a scout this way, where Neely's sending his scout this way. So they might actually fight each other. I think Turks could do something crazy with a forward castle drop. It's probably less effective in this type of matchup, though. I think if it was normal arena where the players can't run away, castle drop would make more sense. I think castle drop just incentivizes expanding to the sides, so I don't see that being the strongest play here. And then Nilly was a little uncertain. So Nilly started to run out, and then he said, well, maybe I'll go to the middle as well. And so they both kind of scouted the same area, but they haven't found each other yet. What's the status of Silver League? Silver League happens after Gold and Platinum conclude, and it's prior to the second season. So what would happen is, right, so you're going to have 8 players get relegated out of Gold. And so, oh, Draken into the TC. It feels like such a rookie mistake, too. It's 2 games in a row for him, by the way. He's not used to the maps that are not straight arena. Yeah, so what would happen is we would have silver, kind of like a playoff bracket. And that'll be prior to when Season 2 starts. And the reason for that is there's no prize pool except for qualifying through silver, so it's not like the same setup. Just because we can only do so much with the 22K we have, which is a lot of money, obviously, right? But you never want a situation where someone can make more in a lower league, so it's the whole thing. Anyways, so what we didn't want was to have that run now, because those are majority of those players are players who are not like pro. Some of them take breaks here or there. We didn't want to run that now, and then they wouldn't be able to play in gold until whenever gold happens. So we're going to make it around the same time. Okay, and Scout dives to the TC. I have to say, you know, I came in. This might be mean for the host to say, but I was 50th rank. I had to be 48th or below to get in one of these leagues, and I have seen these enough scouts hit TCs, and the conclusion of the previous game. And I'm just sitting here like, man, I don't think I would have been making some of these mistakes, but that's mean of me, man. That's mean of me. You never know. Especially, you know, these guys might be shaking off a little bit of tournament nerves. Nilly's going to go FC. Nilly has the better position, I'd say, right now. Where on the screen is information about the current league? You'd have to go to Liquipedia. I can't show anything here. You can go to Liquipedia. There should be no spoilers now, so someone could link it, because I casted all the previous sets. You do need to be a little bit careful on reading that, because sometimes I'll be casting recorded games and missing some of them. Okay, all right. I did run my king into a town center. Okay, all right, listen. I deserved that remark from chat. I did run my king into a town center in a tournament. You're not wrong. Chat remembers, man. Okay, so Draken's going for a castle. Also fast castle, but, you know, he's going to build a castle here. And then Nilly's just going to play this like your standard arena game and make scouts for the middle control and hope to compete for relics out there. Now, Nilly is a player who tends to get relics pretty early. I feel like he sometimes even sacrifices normal macro, like TCs and farms, to get relics. We haven't had any walling, which is interesting. Like, imagine if the scouts were to come over here. Wouldn't Draken have problems? I think that's the play for Nilly. Send your scout around. You're going to have Lightcav here in a second. And again, he does also see that Draken is now on stone, and I'm sure he's a little concerned about that. You have info up anywhere for TTL. I have a video. We'll have more videos coming up. The video is already on YouTube. You can read about it and then check Liquipedia. That would be the place to go look and read. As well as AoE Zone. But Liquipedia kind of has the gist of the maps, the players. Who's playing when they play who, blah, 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 you know? Okay. I think Nilly's approach currently is the correct play. I think the wiser move would be to wait until you have the second scout. And I'm now curious what Draken does, because Draken's going to be like, oh, crap. And if he sees a second one, I think he almost needs to wall up. Now, what would be interesting is if he drops a castle. Okay, so he's going to drop a castle here. Nilly can kill villagers. Like, this is a completely different approach. Draken is not a player who's comfortable in these types of scenarios. He's used to the full walls. And Nilly should get a Vil pick here. Yep. Ah, he goes back. Can he kill villagers here? Draken with some quick walls. Could actually trap Nilly if he makes a gate. But not something I would expect from Draken. Still plenty of potential for Nilly, though. So he's being very patient with his Lightcav. He doesn't want to lose them. He wants control. And I feel like even if he doesn't kill anything, I mean, surely he's going to want to kill, right? But even if he doesn't kill anything, Draken doesn't have a second town center yet. Nilly's going to be getting relics. Nilly's going to be on TCs. But what Nilly has to factor in now is what if the units from the castle for Draken actually loop around and get in here. So it definitely affects how you play the game. But yeah, I think that Lightcap plays amazing, but Nilly just can't kill something here. Again, the other Vil should have died. This villager should be a kill as well. There you go. Yeah, the first one, like, you don't need to be that worried about town center fire with Turks. Because they have the extra Pierce armor. So the first one, I think, was just a mistake from him. Or mercy. Mercy. We want information from you, not Liquipedia. Well, ask specific questions then. Ask specific questions. Oh, Nilly also sniped a monk, but will he lose his monk? Yes, he will. The old man will die. Wait, what? Wait, there's a chance? Nope. 2 monks have died in the same area. This place is cursed. Why has God forsaken us? Overall, I think Draken's got a really dangerous unit, though. And for Nilly, he's going to have to make some transitions at some point into another unit. And now the light cap play is neutralized. This is going to be dealt with, and there it goes. So for Nilly, who just lost another monk, he finds himself one villager ahead, which is not much. And he's now up against these strong units, which he'll struggle to push against, I think. It's the small things at the high level, right? It's losing the monks here or there, getting conversions like that. Nilly still moving out, though, which is a little confusing to me. And the Gusti Egg could run right in, and they kill the monk. Wow, they killed the monk and they ran back out. Draken says, thank you very much. Nilly did a very Doubt thing here. Doubt does this a lot, where he rushed the final farm upgrade. I actually don't like it at that time because you'll notice he now doesn't have the food to produce out of all of his TCs. I think it was a little rushed, which is what led to the idle TC time, but that's kind of a preference thing. I'd prefer to have the Vil count and ease into that upgrade later. Some players prefer to get that so their farms don't expire. Yeah, good question. I think it's 4 relics on the outside, and I think it's 5 relics in the middle, so a total of 9 relics on this map. The relics really matter, and Draken now going to drop a town center out here. So he will be on 3 town centers. Draken has been working with the same wood and farm upgrade we just talked about with Nilly for a little bit. I think he researched that stuff while he was on the way to Castle Age. Nilly heading to the outside now. I like the recognition from him. He says, well, this isn't working. The middle is a scary place, but what we can do is get the relics on the outside. So that's good. Draken focused on the inside. Draken will get all 5. Nilly's sending another monk this way, too. So, in theory, I think Nilly's going to end up with 3. Draken and maybe with 6. Nilly kills a villager, though, with the unit he converted earlier. I don't think he's going to end up killing another one, though, because this unit has a charge attack, so the first attack is always really strong. They all have it, so yeah. Nilly's unit gets chewed up. Much better game. It has been a little sloppy in some ways, but this is a much better game than the second one. Again, apologies, guys. I didn't catch the first one. We were casting other sets, and it was apparently a 14-minute game, so it wasn't very exciting. Nilly's on stone like he wants to drop a castle here, but I don't know if leaving to drop it in the middle would be wise. He might be considering it, though. Nilly's scouting doesn't show this relic, so he doesn't see this. And it will be 3 relics. And Nilly's idling for Imp. So he's not creating Vils. I think what he's expecting is for Draken to come forward and drop a castle on him. And he wants to have a faster Imperial Age to push that back with Trebs. That's not what Draken's doing. That's not what Draken's doing. Draken kills a villager there. Draken's just booming like a madman. Draken's going to kill more villagers, potentially, yes. And so this will allow Draken to catch up with Vils. Draken's full boom, adding a 4th TC now. Ah, man, dude. Nilly's struggling here right now. He's really struggling. Draken's going to catch up big time. Draken's boom is so smooth and so clean. By the way, Felipe, I did cast 1 game from the Stark freaking Andy series in Gold League. It was the Serengeti game. I don't know if you knew about it, but yeah, it was a really good set. Nilly is going to click Imp now. But by the time he makes it to the Imperial Age, I would expect Draken to have at least a 20 Vil lead. There we go. Would Lithuanians be a good choice for this map? I don't think they're a bad choice on this map. I think that Lithuanians are just going to be preferred on some of the other maps. So, oh god. Oh my god. Draken's gather point isn't actually set on the stone, and he hasn't checked his idols. Oh, man. Oh, jeez, dude. Listen, I didn't cast a lot of Gold League yet, but I did watch some of it, and this series has definitely lowered the bar a little bit. I think these guys are struggling here. Oh, Draken, like, Come on, man. You've got to check your idols. Do you not check your idols? The thing is, in his mind, he's probably like, oh, I need to keep sending more vills to stone because I don't have stone. So he'll keep the gather point there because he just assumes they're working. Draken, bro! Who's the admin of this event? What is this ranking system? How was I 50th? No, I'm kidding. It's jokes. But, pain! Draken, come on, man! Okay, well, we have to forget about that. Here comes Nilly. He wants to go for the kill. And this could work. This could really work. His approach with the faster imp was he wanted to push up the gut, assuming Draken would have a nice boom, possibly. I think initially he might have been expecting a lot of pressure, and that's why he rushed it, but this is a good approach as well. I'd love to see him immediately queue up a Treb. And I love how he canceled the Janissaries, too. Now, Nilly has 6 on wood at the moment. That's going to be something he needs to fix. I think he's trying to. Because he can't actually afford the next Trebuchet. And Draken, okay, the villagers are now on some resource here. I love this from the arena players. I feel like this is something the arena players do that a lot of other high-level players don't do. He realizes he's going to lose his monastery. So he's making a monk, and he's moving the monastery. That said, how about you bring the relics a little further back here, Draken? Because this is not so far away from the point you're going to lose it, but I still do like the thought process of just moving it in general. Could help out for him. Meanwhile, he needs to catch up on upgrades. He's now in the Imperial Age. He will likely make a Trebuchet. No, he's actually getting conscription. So he says, I'm going to lose this Treb war. Let's just get conscription. And over here, Nilly is going to wall the sides, which I think is another really good decision here. Walling the sides. That way, Draken has to fight whatever death ball we have in the middle. Nilly's probably wondering what Draken's going to make right now. And he's actually going to go into camels. So he has the stables coming up. He still doesn't have any upgrades. Like his eco is still pretty fragile. But he is going to probably push his castle down eventually. And camel is actually the right call. Now what's bad for him is Draken actually has some units over here still. And this villager is going to be denied from walling that up by the monk. And Draken's going to have paladin. Like Draken has a lot of stables. He has a lot of economy. He's already relocated the relics. He knows he's going to lose this castle, but he's prepping more houses. He's prepping more castles. Just feels like there's more stuff going on over here. And he's also making a stable here. Nilly's Trebs finally take out the castle, but with Draken having conscription, his production is going to be really fast. And that camel number needs to be high. That said, it is going to be 3 paladins versus 3 camels right now. So I guess it should be fine. And Nilly dropping a second castle now. And he could fall back to the stone. And I think Nilly noticed this now. Yes, he does notice this. He also walled this in. So he's going to have to deal with some things at home. I'm not liking the 23 on food for Nilly. It's going to be hard for him to expand if he has all this to deal with. And, well, we've got paladins. Paladins do have full armor. I mean, the blacksmith upgrades count for something. Draken being as patient as possible here. He knows he needs the mass. He's also massing the Trebs. Meanwhile, the relics are still bringing in gold. Nilly's going to be the player who goes for the monastery. Some players will go for whatever's behind the monastery. Nilly wants those relics. And yeah, this now should be dealt with, but actually Draken's producing a lot, so I don't actually know. Also, these got some value too, and now Draken's gonna move forward with the paladins. He says, not my relics, fool. Castle, of course, having chemistry, because chemistry is free for the Turks. The Trebs come out from Draken. Nilly now forced to repair. Monks for Draken, many of which going down. Nilly still without blacksmith upgrades, but it's bonus damage. Bonus damage is mainly what you rely on with something like camels, so that's a positive there, as Draken just drains the market with wood because he needs gold fast. And we have the fight. Double castle for Nilly, that will help. Camels here for Nilly, that will help. Nilly's holding. Nilly's holding, and I think Draken probably thought what we thought. He looked at the upgrades and said, I can take this. But Nilly said, no. I just need the numbers. This game will continue, though, guys, because Draken is going to switch in some pikemen here. It is really tough for Draken, though, because he's got to get his farming eco right. Also tough for Nilly, because Nilly is raiding with paladins over here. So this is... These players, I think they were a bit rusty earlier, but now both players really stepping it up, and it's just back and forth, back and forth. As Nilly pushes the middle, Nilly's getting raided, and he is no answer to that right now from that one stable. But at the same time, Draken doesn't have pikemen here yet. Now, if Nilly would have had the blacksmith upgrades, the paladin just wouldn't have cut it. But man, this is insane! I think Nilly needs to go for the kill and try and take that castle out, though, because this has idled so much of his economy. It's so much work for him. It doesn't feel like a stabilize and fall back situation unless he snags the relics. If he starts to take the relics home, then I think, okay, you can switch your outlook. Draken still hoping to get some pikes out. Then again, Nilly does also have some Janissaries, which will help with that. And he can see this, too. Oh, man, what a crazy game. But this, I would have to look back. Does anyone know? I think the villager was maybe converted that was over here. I don't actually know how the villager was there that built that stable. I didn't focus on that. I saw it, but man, what a role that played, because that really set Nilly back. He's got army in his base right now that he'll want forward. Okay, conversions, and then camels, and then monks, and so much happening. That's a lot of paladins. That's a lot of paladins. They got a decent engagement there. Is it enough paladins? Will Nilly take out the castle? Nilly needs this victory, guys. This might be his easiest opponent, and not that Draken's easy. He needs to get a win, I feel, to have higher hopes to be able to stay alive in this group, because this group is really tough in Gold League. But the paladins are still raiding him. Oh, that one stable. Oh, my God. I like how he's kept the Janissaries alive. I like how he's getting the relics. He needs the gold, actually, because he can't comfortably take any golds because of all the paladin raids. So he will drop a castle here. I think it's very important for Nilly, though, to protect your trebs. Don't go for Vil kills here. You need to protect your trebuchets. You need to protect your cannons. Your position is not that strong. He is going to get some kills over here. But, guys, he will lose a bombard cannon. And he could lose trebuchet. Yep, he'll lose that trebuchet as well. That's still fine, I think, in the end. Man, but what a crazy game. Also, the camels. This is going to be annoying for Draken. Draken now has to deal with this, so I think these two camels are worth it. Double castle again. Nilly can snag the relics. Nilly is pretty much dealt with this now. And Draken, you can see, is not going to give up anytime soon. Boom, 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 boom. Farm, farm, farm. Moo, moo. Start to hear all the cow noises as the farms come in. Which is kind of weird, because there's never any cows on the farm in this game. Is Draken going to try and take this relic right now? Oh, my God. Is he distracting with the villager on purpose? Or is this just a villager going to a job? I'm very confused. It's like he's trying this, but he is going to snipe the treb. As Nilly's trying to stabilize, right? He's trying to stabilize his economy, I think. What a ridiculous game. What a ridiculous game. It's like Draken, if the walls weren't here, could actually loop around and hit Nilly's main economy. But because of the walls, Draken can't do that. And then running in between castles never feels good either. But Draken has a 40 villager lead. It's just Nilly's got the counter unit in the camel. And will Nilly be able to keep up the pressure while also getting his eco right? Because his eco is just disastrous. Now, this is important, too. Nilly was making a gate here, and Draken actually converted the villagers. So Draken could maybe raid over there. I think that would be a good move, because we saw how successful the stable was. But I don't know. At the same time, like, he also needs to get his eco right on this side. Nilly, though, has really struggled with his macro this game. I saw his lack of macro in the previous game as well. Like, his eco is just not right. And against Burgundians and against someone like Draken, you've got to expect that's going to be a concern. Like, idle villagers galore, doesn't really have the lumberjacks he needs. I have played with in stressful situations before and made similar mistakes, so I think it's just the heat of the moment and everything's kind of falling apart and he needs to snap out of it a little bit. Like there, the villagers get back to work. That's very important. This is what I would do if I'm Draken. I would, like, Nilly's not really posing a big threat right here. So you obviously have to respect it, but if you could just continue to focus on those sides, just with trickles of units, rams, anything, Nilly's going to have to send all of his new forces there. Now, what Nilly needs to do is Nilly needs to push now. And I love how he's making more Janissaries. And he's going to kill some Halbs here from Draken. If Nilly continues this snowball and this push, it's fine. By the way, he doesn't see this gold, which is such a big deal at this point in time. And yeah, this villager's going to eventually break through. Nilly now making more walls because he has to deal with this. If Nilly has like 10 Janissaries with his camels and could get a little bit more stone for the next castle, I think he could actually win this and end this. But Draken has a chance. Draken, interestingly enough, saving a lot of resources. I don't think... I guess he doesn't have a castle. I was going to say, I don't really think he can go for the Flemish Revolution in this spot. Nilly trying to raid. Nilly also with a villager in here, so he's going to make a stable to raid. That's lovely. We have a barracks over here. We have Ram and we have Halbs on this side. So Nilly now needs to think about maybe even fortified wall. He's getting fortified wall. It's a great idea, guys. And he also found these villagers. And now, Nilly's macro's looking bet. Nilly! Kill the gold miners. Thank you. Probably just pulled them back because he thought they would die already. Castle over here, which Nilly... I don't think he knows about this area. Paladins and Halbs still having to respect everything here in the middle. Now, this is huge. If Nilly can just send in random hussars and camels, whatever, into this, it gets so annoying for Draken. It's still going to take Draken a bit to get through here, but Draken's going to drop a TC here as well, and Draken's going to be over here. This is a crazy, crazy, crazy game. 20 bucks on the line, but also, again, I think these two are probably the biggest underdogs in their group. Draken! 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 Ah! He's so focused! That was not intentional! I don't think it was intentional. He lost all of his paladins. No! But guys, he's over here. This might have been what he was looking at. Who knows? He's over here as well. And Nilly needs to now make him pay. Draken is trying to surround Nilly on the outside, while Nilly is trying to kill Draken in the inside. It all comes down. If this map were to be a donut, some people like the jelly-filled donut. Some people like the frosted donuts, you know? Draken's more of a frosted kind of guy. He's going for the outside. Nilly's all about the middle. We get it. We get it. Now, the Halbs for Draken have a lot of catching up to do. They have a lot of camels to find. But it is just camels. And so, on this side, we don't have anything to stop the Halbs. If these Halbs make their way through the camels, I think... And by the way, if I were Draken, I would just... Oh, he doesn't notice this! He doesn't notice this! It's 125 pop for both. Nilly's trying to defend this area. Draken's going to patrol his Halbs around. Nilly's still raiding with camels. This is the key, though. Draken has lost 20 or so villagers in the north. He has not noticed that stable. And maybe Nilly has finally done it. Also, Nilly's farm count's up to 38. He has the 8 relics. He wisely pulls back here as Draken's probably looking elsewhere. And I guess the main thing is, can Nilly defend from this, right? If this does damage, then Draken's still in this. But that was a lot of damage from Nilly. 95 villagers killed. And he's even going to drop more TCs in the middle now. Yeah, I think just... You're actually in a position where you can send gunpowder home. Right now, if you're Nilly. He's even making the town center in the north. Yeah, Draken doesn't know about that. Or maybe he does now, but he has to focus on this, and he doesn't exactly know what happened. Like, maybe he thinks there's something over there, you know? But yeah, the Draken's falling apart. He's losing his villagers here. Who would have thought that Nili would actually get a win on Fortified Clearing, on the map that's closest to Arena, while losing on the other maps? But what a game. That was a really, really good game. Guys, I feel like the lack of stone walls on the outside just has so much potential in this map. Like what Nili did with the light cav, imagine if he showed up with 4 light cav. You could have wrecked Draken and won the game there. Nili did some really good strategic things in this game. The faster imp to the forward castle was very smart. And then when he was doing that, getting the walls up, I know it didn't work out all the time, was also a really smart move. I think where Nili struggled was his economy and his upgrades and just some of the, the playing the game aspects. For Draken, I thought Draken actually had this game. Like, I thought Draken with the 30 Vil lead was doing fine, but maybe he needed the pikeman a little bit earlier. And a lot of that was probably just the power of the heavy camel, too, because remember, nearly no upgrades against paladins with 4 upgrades, I think. And that and the 2 castles were actually holding pretty well there for Nili. Yeah, I hope you guys like the map. We'll see how it develops. I think we will see these civs more, but I think there's other strats you can play on this map. But just huge for Nili because I do think Draken and Nili are the weakest in the groups. So at least now Nili gets a win on the board because he has to play 4 more rounds. After all 5 rounds are concluded, your scores in the group determine whether you're relegated out of Gold League, whether you stay in Gold League for the next season, or if you move on to the playoffs with potential to get promoted. So, this definitely had first-round vibes for me. I feel like both players are only going to play better. I definitely saw some of the tournament nerves in some of the tiny little mistakes here or there in this game. I played both of these players and normally are a bit cleaner in that regard, so... some players crumble a little bit under that pressure, but they'll only get more used to it. And I think this will hit YouTube as well. Sorry, YouTube, by the way, if we didn't have the first game. The first game was apparently a 14-minute Golden Swamp game. I missed it because we've been casting everything else, so GG's. Actually, hold on. I wanted to look at this first. There's the KD. Yeah, I mean, his units were just getting such good value. Yeah, Draken had more resources. He had way more food and wood. He almost won this game because Nili was just out of food. But in the end, I think having the relics paid off, having the castles where they were. Also being Turks. If you're any other civ that's going to go camel in that scenario, and you don't have a unique unit that helps against Halb, you don't have a gunpowder unique unit, I think you're in big trouble. Because having 6 to 10 Janissaries helped out a lot against the Halberdiers. Even getting chemistry for free, man. Like, there were a lot of tiny things that went Nili's way because he was Turks there.